Hello, my name is Giovanni. Welcome to my channel. This is a cross stitch channel where I talk about cross stitch. I am a Mexican stitcher and I love to share my love for cross stitch. Today I'm going to make a WIP Parade, so I hope you enjoy this little video. This is the English version. I already made the Spanish one. If you're a new subscriber, it will be so nice if you subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed my content. This first project that I am showing you is Children's Garden by Butternut Road. This is my current WIP, and I hope to finish this project as soon as possible to start working on another piece. But I like to choose for my next piece one of my WIPs, because usually I like to start new things and don't always finish them. But it's also part of the joy of having all these pieces for our stitching happiness. So yeah, I decided to take all my project bags and take all my WIPs so I can show you my pieces. This first one is Aphrodite Mermaid by Mirabilia. I am stitching this in a Lugana 28 that I dyed, and it's a lovely piece. I love this design so much for those beautiful blues, and I need to get back to this project. So yeah, hopefully I will be working on this soon. This is a more recent start. This is the Smith Sampler by the Scarlett house, and it's really pretty. I really love it. I have been seeing this piece already finished, and I really want to have my own sampler. So yeah, again, this is one of my hand-dyed fabrics. Another one that I have been watching recently, from another Flosstubers, is Friends of the Heart by Plum Sampler. I am loving this project so much. The colors are wonderful. I am stitching this in a hand dye of my own and CXC flosses. This is from Old Forest, Black Vintage Sampler. I am stitching this piece with polyester thread, and it's lovely. It's a lovely orangey red tone, and I really like this project. I also I'm watching many stitchers finishing this project, and I really want to finish mine, but I have so many projects. But it's a lovely piece. The fabric, it's one of my owns again. I really like this fabric. This next project, it was a gift from a stitchy friend. It's a really small and lovely sampler, and it's I am stitching this in a linen that it's not for cross stitch, so it's not a regular cross stitch or cross stitch fabric. But I love the vintage look of this irregular fabric. I really love it, and it's not a big project, so hopefully I could finish it soon. It reminds me of all cloth tables that my grandmother used to make to stitch or needlework. So yeah, it's a really lovely project. This next WIP is Red Mermaid. It's a kit from RTO, and it's a beautiful design. I hand-dyed the fabric. It's an Aida 14, but I like it to give it a little, you know, texture to the colors of the fabric, not just the navy blue, but the colors of the hair against the fabrics. It's amazing. I really love this project, and I want to continue stitching on this, but because it's the chart is from a kit, it's a little hard for me. You know, you have to combine threads and use more than two, and it's hard. So here I am starting with my Chatelaine WIPs. This is medieval town mandala, and you know, with Chatelaines it's always a beautiful project. I am using for this one Lugana 25, so it's going to be a larger project, and I am using a conversion of materials, using my own hand-dyed flosses and local beads and crystals, so it's more economical because I make my own kit, and I really love it. I really want to stitch all my projects. You know, it's the common idea, I guess. But it's so lovely to have all these pieces available, I guess, for when I feel the desire to stitch them. From this Chatelaine, I love the blue colors of the water surrounding the center. It's a lovely design. I'm not really want to stitch all those buildings, but it's part of the beauty, I guess, of this composition. My next WIP, it's again a mandala by Chatelaine, and is the Taj Mahal Mandala. It's such an iconic project, such an iconic design by Martina. I hand-dyed the fabric. It's Belfast, a linen 32, and it's wonderful. For this project, I am using the Vicky Clayton pack silks that was available at the time. So yeah, it's not quite the same colors or the same intensity of the original design, but nevertheless it's a beautiful project. And yeah, I enjoy, you know, stitch on this, and I want to get back to this design. It's so pretty. My next project, it's Alpine Seasons Mandala. I'm stitching this project in opalescent Lugana from Silk Weaver, and again in this project I am using materials that I had, you know, locally, DMC and Anchor flosses, and some flosses that I dyed. The beads and the crystals are national, so they are a little irregular and larger than the you know, delicas that are called for this design, but it's so pretty. The colors are so beautiful. This next project is the Octagon Japanese Box. In this case, it's not a mandala. It's a box that you have to stitch, you know, the different parts and then put them together. And of course I stitched my name and the year that I start this project, because I was sure, I guess, that I will finish it. Not not happen that way. And yeah, it's I love this design, this background, you know, the Japanese background. It's so pretty. This is King's vegetable garden, and this was a project that I got as a mystery initially, and it was announced like the project that was going to have the most crystals and beads, and you know, really ornamented. So yeah, I decided to get the kit, but it's not one of my favorite designs. I mean, I have been seeing this finished project and I really like it now, but when I find out the end result of the mystery, it was not one of my favorites. But right now I really like it, and I want to stitch this, and it's one of the projects that I have with more progress. So yeah, I need to finish this project. This one is the Japanese garden mandala, I think, and it's lovely. I only stitched the centerpiece. The fabric, it's Lugana opalescent, again from Silk Weaver, and I love the black motifs, you know, the color black using in this project. It's really striking and amazing. I really love it. Finally, from Chatelaine, this is White Knights of St. Petersburg, and it's huge and it's so pretty, and I need to finish it. I mean, it's such a beautiful, really gorgeous work, and yeah, I don't know where I'm going to put it or how I'm going to frame it, because it's really large. But yeah, I need to finish it first, and it's wonderful. It's full of beads and crystals and metallics and specialty stitches, and it's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I really need to work on this big girl. This next project is Game of Swans by Long Dog Sampler. This is a project that I decided to stitch with one thread. It's a sulky, to try to make it monochromatic, and you know, having a little fun with my fabric, which is really striking and really with a funky colors. And so using the sulky threads, I thought was a good idea. Talking about big projects, this is His Eye is on the Sparrow by Hearstring Samplery. I love this sampler, so big, and I just, you know, make a small really small start, but I love it. My fabric, it's so warm, you know, against the colors of the pattern, and I think it's going to look amazing once it's finished, you know, in 100 years. This is another really tiny star. This is W, a Mexican band sampler. This pattern was a gift from Lori Mischievous Stitches, and I want to finish this sampler and finish as a big drum DRUM, drum, and yeah, I really want to have that project finished. And talking about band samplers, this is an English band sampler by All Forest. I love these motifs and designs. The really light flosses in the thread look so elegant, and I really enjoy stitching in this design. Really pretty. Another one that I should finish soon is Circle the Circles by Ink Circle. It's a really pretty design, a really classic one. I'm using 3 DMC colors, and the fabric, it's a fabric that I dyed. It's a opalescent cashel. I used to use a lot of opalescent fabrics, not anymore because I find them a little hard to stitch. This is a more recent start. This is Rachel Howell, and I make a test using different flosses. The one in the left is the one that I'm going to use. It's a CXC. The one in the right, it's a sewing floss. So I didn't like the coverage of the sewing floss, so I'm going to continue using the CXC flosses. And I love this design. The colors are so pretty, and the really big parrots or birds are like a little cuckoo, but yeah, I love it. I love it, and my fabric looks really pretty. This is Anne Robert by Hands Across the Sea, and I'm showing here that the fabric is the same count, but because the one that I'm using with Anne Robert, it's without any, I didn't dye that fabric. It's a little larger than the one that where I dye the fabric. You know, the holes get smaller. So yeah, little differences between the fabrics. And for Anne Roberts, I am using DMC. So again, the fabric and the floss, you know, you can make combination according to the materials that you use, and you know, obtaining different results. But I really like this design. It's so pretty. It's not a large samplers, you know, according to Hands Across the Sea standards. This is another smallest start. This is Giovanni's alphabet by Tempting Tangled design. It's so pretty. I love this sampler, and I start this sampler in a vacation. And usually when I have realized that when I start something in a trip or something like that, when I return home, I don't want to stitch on that anymore. So yeah, it's funny, but I love this design, and it's only used like 4 or 5 colors, and you know, the composition is so pretty. So I really want to stitch these, but not in this year, I guess. In a near future. This other sampler, it's a reproduction that I made from a Mexican sampler, and it's really pretty. I'm using again a linen that is not designed for cross stitch. It's more like a sewing fabric, you know, for clothes, and I love it. I'm going to make it, you know, in a single color, and it's a really large design, but it's really pretty. And yeah, I only make, you know, a few letters, but hopefully I will continue stitching on this project, on this reproduction in a future. Of course, I have Dead by Cross Stitch by Long Dog Sampler, and I'm in the page 1, not much progress. I'm stitching this in a Aida 18 that I dyed. I'm using one thread of DMC, and again, I really like to stitch with one thread. You can use, for Aida 18 you can use 2 threads, but it's a matter of preference. And yeah, it's a really lovely design, but it's really big. So yeah, perhaps in the future. Another sampler by Hands Across the Sea. This is Anne Thomas, and so pretty. This central bird, it's amazing. I dyed the fabric to achieve this orange coral color. I really like the result of my fabric, and yeah, I love it. I make a few mistakes in the bird, so I was a little sad about it, but yeah. And I'm thinking on changing the phrase. I love this adaptation. It's so funny and so true. So yeah, perhaps I could put something different for my phrase, but yeah, still a lot to do to be thinking about the phrase. This is a sampler by Barbara Anna. It's called the Snooty Parrot, and I love it. I don't have many designs by Barbara Anna, but this sampler, it's amazing. And this was also one of those projects that I start on a trip, on a vacation, and when I returned home I didn't want to stitch on it anymore. But I really need to get back to this sampler and trying to make some progress, because it's beautiful and I love it, and I love my fabric on this. It's so full of colors and character, I guess. This is another classic design for us, stitchers. It's the 2020 pandemic sampler by Cersei Girl. It's lovely. I really like this design, and I want to finish, to continue this project. Perhaps at the end of this year I will do it. This is the one of the Uffindale sisters. I love this project, and I was so happy when those samplers were released again. And this is another project that I start on a trip, on a vacation. And I didn't continue with it, but yeah, I need to get back to this. It's so pretty. I didn't dye the fabric here. It's the natural fabric with the MC. And I already have Isabella Uffindale, and I'm going to stitch Isabella with CXC. This is another sampler, Susan Rambo, stitched on linen 40 with DMC. I just start a little corner, but I really like this type of borders with the circular flowers. It's really beautiful. Another project that I don't know, it had something. It's Autumn Quaker by Rosewood Manor. I did a conversion with flosses that I dyed. The fabric, it's also a fabric that I dyed, but I don't really love my conversion. Sometimes I usually I like my conversions, but in this case I love the original most. But yeah, I'm going to finish this project. It's beautiful, and I like my colors. but I don't know, I like the original better. So yeah. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, but that's okay. This is from Blackbird Design. It's Merrily Merrily We Welcome Spring. I love this sampler. It's a linen 40 that I hand dyed, and I'm using anchor flosses. So yeah, it's beautiful. I already finished, you know, the letters, the part of the letters, and I just need to stitch the half of the design, you know, with the motifs. And here I was talking about how I use these ball tip needles, but those are not my favorite really. I understand the function of this type of needles, but I prefer the traditional ones for you know, needlework. My favorite brand is John James. I like to use the 28 and the 26 usually for everything. But yeah, in this case I have the ball tip needle, and yeah, I will change that needle. This is another sampler by Long Dog Sampler. This is Pandemic, and I love my fabric, so it's really dark, and against the silks that I'm using, the silks are from Silks for You. I think it looks really chaotic as the pandemic was. So I really love this combination. And I just, you know, start that project, and that was it. Another really tiny star is Christmas Garden by Blackbird Design. I really love this design, so classic, and I don't feel like it, you know, a Christmassy sampler, but I just love the general design. So yeah, I really want to stitch at least a little more. This is very bold sampler, and was a design by Hearstring Samplery and the Scarlet House, and it's really beautiful. And I'm using here CXC flosses and two pieces of fabric that I dyed, and I, you know, put it together in the middle. I changed the phrase to Spanish. It's something like never it's far away who is in your heart. Yeah, I really love this design. I find it so relaxing when I'm stitching this. I don't know, it's funny, but yeah, I really like to stitch. I guess because the motifs are very simple and beautiful, but I really like it. This is a huge sampler from All Forest. It's ever flowering garden, and it's very pretty. I'm using a fabric that is not designed for cross stitch. It's a sewing linen, and I dyed my flosses. So yeah, it has so many beautiful motifs, but it's so large. It's so big. I don't know if I ever going to finish this project, but you know, I have that illusion in my heart. So perhaps, who know. This is another beautiful sampler by Hands Across the Sea, is Amy Can, and I love the look of this sampler. It looks so girly, so pretty. The fabric, it's a fabric that I hand dyed and bake, so I make, you know, really grungy fabric. I really like it. So yeah, I need to get back to this project. I'm using DMC for this project. This is another crazy combination of mine, a really dark fabric with I'm going to change the color of the design. It's by Rosewood Manor, diamond Quaker. So yeah, I really, I was in the mood to use that fabric. I just make a little start. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, this is I really can't stitch full coverage like heaven and earth, but I thought, if I would stitch just one, this is the one that I love. I love this design. It's Beloved by Adele Sessler, and I love this image. I really love, but unfortunately I don't know how to stitch it. I mean, I know that it's just one stitch after the other one, but it's hard. This is a kit by Riolis. This is Motherly Love, and it's so pretty. The flosses are these like wool threads, really thick, but it's an Aida 14, so you have the space. And yeah, I really love this design, this image. It's so pretty. This is as Mirabilia Star is Garden Prelude. Here I love my fabric and I love the design, but I don't love so much the combination. So perhaps I will start this project again in a different fabric. I'm using DMC with 2 threads, and I prefer using just one, so I probably will change the fabric and start her again. This is a little booklet that I did. I was intending to make a color chart by DMC, but yeah, I didn't finish it, and since I start this there are like 50 more colors, so yeah, I need to finish this as a journal or something like that. It's really pretty. This is another start by Mirabilia. It's 340. I love it because for me it's like the mother and her 2 daughters. Like it's my case. I have 2 daughters and 2 sons. So yeah, I love this design, but the fabric, again, it was not my favorite. It's a Jobelan, and I don't like it. So I will probably change the fabric and start this design again. So yeah, this is a sampler that I started many years ago. It's a Splendor 4 by Heart's Content, and I changed the colors, and the colors are so outdated, very 80s, I don't know. But yeah, I was talking about how I just could finish like that and make a little drum. Perhaps I will do that because I'm never going to finish the full version, but it's almost finished, so I can make something pretty with that project. This is Queen of the Fairies by Passione Ricamo, and in this case the fabric is by Silk Weaver. It's linen, but the fabric is not big enough for the design, and I realized of this in the middle of my stitchy process, so that is a no-go. This is the Fairy Enchanted by Passione Ricamo, and again I start this project on a vacation trip, and I don't know, it's the course. But yeah, I really don't like the fabric for this, and I was using 3 threads, and no, I'm going to need to start her again. This is an angel by Lavender and Lace, Angel of Dreams, and again with the 80s colors, I make this conversion to pastels colors, and I really don't like it. it I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to finish as it is. So yeah. This is Blessed with Happiness by Cat's Whiskers. It's a company that it's I haven't seen this company, and I don't really want to finish it as a box, so I could perhaps make a booklet or something like that, you know, finish in a different way. And here I was talking about how we used to use tape for our, you know, borders, edges, and the tape was not appropriate, so it has a lot of acid, and the fabric, you know, get, you know, those marks. So yeah, not a good practice. This is a design by Fox and Rabbit, the Mystery Sal 2017, and my idea was to stitch, you know, just the central part, and I'm using a fabric, again, not for cross stitch, and it's really big, but I'm not going to finish this. I don't think I will ever finish, you know, the full third part, so perhaps I just call it a finish, just add the missing little part there, and that's it. That's my finish, and it's not longer a whip. So yeah, I'm going to finish like a small sampler. This is another Mirabilia that I just, you know, stitch the face. It's a sleeping princess, and I'm using a Lugana 32, I think. I didn't change the color of the face or hand dye the fabric, so it's kind of strange. This is Zelda by Mirabilia. I made a mistake in her waist, and yeah, I decided to give her a break, but I needed to go back to this design. It's so pretty. I use silks, different silks for the border, this border of the skirt, and it looks really beautiful. So yeah, this is my Zelda that I really need to finish, and yeah, I will need to make some adjustment in the middle part, you know, in the waist part, because I mix I miss some stitches, and yeah, not a good sign to return to a project, but I have to do it. This is Venetian Opulence by Mirabilia, and again in this case I didn't make any conversion, and I'm using the fabric as it is. It's a Lugana 32 with all the DMC, so I feel strange with this type of projects right now, because I usually make a lot of changes. And talking about changes, this is Ophelia by Mirabilia, with in a really dark linen that I dyed, and I'm sure the dress and the flowers are going to look amazing. But because I'm stitching the hair, the color of the hair, it's very similar to the fabric, so it's a really difficult right now. And finally, this is a kit by Busila. It's called Autumn, and I love it. I love the image, and you know, the mother and the kid. It's so pretty. I really want to get back to this, but again, I find a little hard to work on kids. I don't know, perhaps it's just my idea. But yeah, those are my WIPs. There are not much. No, no. There are no, just I like to revisit my projects, because I can fall again in love with them, or change something, or thinking about different ways to finish them, and that's okay. That's a great approach, I guess. So yeah, that was my WIP parade. Thank you for being here. I hope you have enjoyed this little video. Have a great week. I hope to see you on my next video. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, and until the next one. Bye bye.